So, today is the 30th of March, and on this day in 1942, if you can believe it, allegedly it's only 39 years ago. No, it's not. It's 80 years ago. On this day, 80 years ago, my mother was born. Happy birthday, Mum. And me and my son are going to go and visit. We're going to go for an 80th party with family and a couple of friends, and we'll be in Grimsdyke, near where she lives, and we'll have a wonderful time, I think. I'm really looking forward to it. But I thought this is a great opportunity to kind of create a cocktail, and I wanted to do that. It's not really a birthday present to my mum in some ways because I'm going to drink it right here. But actually, maybe I'll take the ingredients over with me and we can have one when I get back to London. We're going to be arriving at the weekend, so really looking forward to it. And so I wanted to come up with a kind of drink that would mark it and bring together these disparate elements to remind me of my mum, whose name is Jeannie, by the way. And first of all, I stuck on, I've had this album for I don't know how long. It's on blue vinyl, David Essex, Imperial Wizard. And I seem to recall that my mum likes David Essex, but I'm not 100% sure about that, so please don't chop my head off if I'm wrong, but I couldn't find any other music that I knew she liked. I don't have any Everly Brothers or Elton John or she's seen Bruce Springsteen. I don't have any of his either. So I'm taking a guess for this and I hope I'm right. Anyway, I wanted to come up with a drink that brought together some of the things that I remember of my mum, and so I created the drink that's going to be called the Gin Jeannie, and if I had David Bowie, I could play Gin Jeannie maybe, but I don't even know if that, we don't have it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so it's Gin Jeannie, and one of the reasons it had to be a gin drink and it had to have some sort of lemon notes in it is because I have very strong memories of my mum and dad drinking gin and bitter lemon. In fact, they still do. The rest of my family does as well. I do sometimes. It's a good drink, why not? But that's not enough of a cocktail to make. I wanted to make something a little more special. And so here's where I started coming up with things. One of the interesting things that we did 30 years ago today, I was living in Sevilla working at the Expo. I may have mentioned that before. And my mum and dad came to visit, and my mum had her 50th birthday there with us. So you can probably see that in Sevilla. And there was a nice celebration, sparkling wine. Of course, I also thought, gotta have a sparkling wine as part of this drink, of course. Then I thought, well, Sevilla, and I happen to know that there's a Sevilla orange gin by Tancred, which is quite nice, a little bit sweet, but it's quite delicious. So here we go, we've got a bit of lemon, we've got the gin from Sevilla. What else? Well, I know my mum likes things like elderflower, so I thought, I'll use some elderflower liqueur as well. And I've already mentioned that we're going to have something sparkling in it, but somehow I came up with the name first, and I was like, how can I come up with a drink that would do that justice? So anyway, here we go. I'm wearing a butterfly on my shirt here because one of the ingredients I'm going to use in here as well is this. See this blue ice here? Well, you can make blue ice by taking the butterfly pea flowers and making a tea with it, let it steep for a while, then strain it and freeze it. You get this blue ice cubes, but they're not just blue. It turns out when they come into contact with citrus, they go a kind of beautiful sort of purpley lilac color as well. And I thought that will look kind of like a genie in a bottle. So I had to find a kind of appropriate glass. It's actually a Belgian beer glass. I thought that will actually look very chalicey. It's the brew that is true, the chalice from the palace. I know, Danny Kaye, whatever, very interesting stuff. But let me go ahead and make those. Struck in my head, how can I make something interesting? I think I've come up with it. You should try it if you can and see what you think. But here's how you make it. So let's take this Sevilla orange gin, and we need 1 ounce of that poured into a cocktail shaker that already has some ice in it. Next, we'll take our elderflower liqueur I mentioned earlier, and we want another ounce of that, like so. And then we are going to put in some lemon juice I've already squeezed, but only just half an ounce of that. So this is where we're going to be getting that sort of bitter lemon sort of experience, but also the citrusy lemon that'll hopefully turn the ice an interesting color. So there we go, half an ounce of that. And it needs a tiny bit of sweetening, not very much. You really don't want to overdo this because then it gets a little bit cloying with all these sort of liqueurs and that orange gin in there. I think 1 bar spoon of sugar syrup, simple sugar syrup, is absolutely plenty. You don't want to overdo that. I know sometimes I say, "I'll make it sweeter if you like," and that is also true for this. But really, you can make this just a little bit too sweet, and then not so good. So that's in there like that. We need 1 dash of Angostura bitters. That'll make it a little bit more of that bitterness for like the gin and bitter lemon that I mentioned earlier. Anyway, let's see what we do. Just shake this up a little bit. I do realise I will have to take the ingredients. I will have to make this in England, so I'll have to make the ice and everything, but this can be done. I am 100% convinced. Right, so now we've got that ready to go, but there's one more step. This really is much more interesting if it's crushed. So I'm gonna pour this, these ice cubes, into a Ziploc bag, and I just happen to have close to hand a rubber mallet. And I'm gonna just mash this up like that, because I think that will make it look really cool. There we go. Now, I will warn you with this ice, it stains everything it touches, so be very careful. We dread to think what is going to be happening to our insides with this. But there we go, we have this crushed blue ice in there like so. And now get our drink in here and strain it into this. Right, because I want this to look like a sort of genie in a bottle there. Oh, look at that, it's blue and red and kind of lilac-y as well. The drink already was a slightly pink color, but it's gone much more intense now with that blue as it's starting to dissolve. But here it is again, one of my emergency bottles of prosecco, and we are just going to top this up. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is amazing. It's beautiful pink foam on top. All that wonderful blue ice in there. Let's see, can you see that? Look at that, it's like a genie bottle right there. Let's see what we've got. Delicious. Happy birthday, Mum.